What's up, what's up? It's your boy Corey B. So tonight, it's kind of late in the evening already, and I'm just kind of enjoying this Texas weather. It's Texas evening. Just hanging out on the porch, just kicking it. Um, got a lot of work to do. I just got the boys to bed. They crashed out. And it looks like I got a lot happening for the rest of the evening. It's going to be a busy week. It's only Monday, and whew, it's going to be a crazy one. I got a lot of stuff happening. So yesterday, I hope that with everything going on and across the world with this pandemic and everything, I hope y'all are still finding a way to connect with your friends, your family, your church. Church ain't a building, man. Church is a gathering of people. Church is a connection. It's hard to explain, but it ain't four walls and a roof. That's for sure. If y'all didn't see my last post yesterday, y'all go check it out. I posted a video, me and the boys, checking out our church service on TV. They were live streaming it and stuff, and it was really great. It was really great. So we're missing that personal connection being there, but we ain't missing service. That's for sure. For those of y'all who don't attend a church, or y'all do attend a church, but your church doesn't have a service online right now, they just don't have the ability to do that for whatever reason. Check us out. Our church is incredible, and it's online, and it's Dreamers Church. Check it out on YouTube, Dreamers Church. So, Pastor said something that was really incredible yesterday. When he was talking about all the stuff that he was talking about, one of the things that he said that really stuck with me is something that I've been trying to say to all of y'all for a good time now during this whole pandemic. For the last several weeks, I've been talking about it. But he said it in such a way that, he's got it such a way with words. He's articulate, and I love the way he speaks. He's not so articulate that he's above our heads, which is cool. He says God doesn't waste a moment. Like I said, I've been telling all y'all this whole time, capitalize on this. Let's make the most out of this. Let's rise up. We gotta rise up. We gotta come together. We gotta lift each other up, lift ourselves up. We gotta build on this. This time where people are sent home, people are trying to figure out what's going on. You just gotta dig deep. You gotta dig deep and put what you got. Give everything you got to your business, to your family, to your health, to your spiritual walk, to your journey through this life, man. Because there's so much more. There's so much more than 40 hours a week just clocking in. You know what I'm saying? There's just so much more than that. Most of the people who are sitting at home right now trying to figure out what's next, they're people that ride a clock. And I'm not knocking anybody, because I did that for countless years. I did that before I had my own business. I did that while I had my own business. I did it. It helped fund my business. It helped give security to my family, to my wife and kids, and try to make sure was running my business, and my business was struggling. When my oldest son was born, and me and Kimberly had been married we were approaching our first anniversary, and Corey was a couple months old, and we were trying to figure things out. We were just like, man, my business took a hit. She lost some clients when she had our boy, and we were just trying to figure things out. And God moved in my life and in our life, and I look back now, and it wasn't the end all be all, but it was definitely a setup for the next thing. I made a lot of connections. I met a lot of great people. I got to work closely side by side with a lot of people, and I got to learn some really, really great, interesting, awesome stuff. But I got a phone call. I had an older teenage daughter and financing her trombone, and I was late on my payment. Oh man, I was frequently late on my payment for several months, because it was trying to juggle things. Trombone wasn't the number one thing that I was trying to take care of, but I wasn't trying to not take care of it either. It was just, just trying to make the business grow and trying to make things happen. While I was trying to make things happen and try to figure things out, uh, I got a call not just from the accounting department. I got a call from the owner, Mr. Robert Strait, the owner of Strait Music in Austin, Texas. He called me and was like, well, what you gonna do with this trombone? I was like, well, my daughter, she's in middle school and she needs it. He was like, are you gonna bring it back to us? I was like, well, can't really bring it back. And he's like, okay, well, you gonna make a payment? And I was like, well, I've been paying what I could, but I ain't made a full payment in a couple months. It's been little pieces. And he's like, okay, well, he's like, on your application for this trombone in the first place, it says you're self-employed. What do you do? I was like, well, ever since I found out I had my son on the way, I'd do a whole lot of anything. Anything that pays money, I was doing it. Trying to take care of my daughter and trying to prepare for my son and trying to provide for my wife and just family and just trying to figure things out. And I was like, I'll do anything that pays money. I told him a little bit of my experience. I was like, look, I do online reselling. I do contract labor. I've worked in some office building. I worked on job sites. Assistant superintendent. He was like, you do landscaping? I was like, does it pay money? So he told me, he was like, how about this? How about you come out here and we're going to work something out? And, this was just, to me, this was God moving, because I ain't trying to put Robert on the spot or nothing, trying to put, what he did for me. But what he did for me was, it was a blessing. It was huge. I mean, in a time where things were questionable and I was trying to figure out what was going to happen and how I was going to manage everything, I mean, he called me. And I know he's a strong Christian man, and I know that he may say that there was 100 different reasons why he called me, but I worked with him. I ended up working with him for 4.5 years. And, actually it was, if you count the time I did contract labor and the time I was actual employee, I was working with him for over 5 years. And, in all the time that I worked with him, I knew he called customers every once in a while, but it wasn't often. And I mean, they got, ooh man, I couldn't even tell you how many customers they got. It's insane how many customers they got. And the ones he called just were rare cases. And considering I was doing all I could to try to make payments, and I was making, partial payments here and there, and I was trying to work it out. I mean, he called me. Could have called anybody. And of all the people that he did call, I never heard of him doing what he did for me, for them. But he just asked me, plain and simple, he was like, well, I hear your situation. And he's like, I need some landscaping done out here at one of the locations. The location that he owned, the land and everything. He was like, how about you come do some landscaping? I was like, you serious? He was like, yeah. He's like, we'll put some money in your pocket and put some money towards that trombone and we'll get this thing paid off. Oh man, I came out there, I did all the landscaping that he needed, and then after that he was like, you want some more work? I was like, oh yeah, I want some more work. And then I did some other stuff for him. I went up to the North Store, I, rewired some ballast and some lighting. I mean, changed air filters. I mean, I was doing anything and everything that he, replaced a couple parking blocks. I mean, I just became just whatever you need, guy. You tell me what you need, I'm gonna do that. And before I know it, it was a few months later, I got offered a full-time position as a shipping and receiving manager, and there I sat in that spot for 4.5 years. It was just an incredible experience. Like I said, I'll never. Yeah, I wouldn't have traded that time for anything. Time I got to share with Robert and his son Clint, who's just great family. I mean, really, I got to meet the founder, Dan, and he came in there and talked to me, from time to time on occasion. He was such a great guy. And then the entire staff that I worked with. I mean, I met so many people, learned so many things. I learned more things about instruments, about music, some things that I'd always wanted to know. Um, I really bonded with some of those people, and they're like, some of those people are like family now. They're gonna be with me for life. Um, End of the day, I mean, what it comes down to is, you know, God doesn't waste a moment, and even when things look bad, it's not a setback. It's God setting you up for something bigger. I can't say that I'd be where I am today had I not had that experience at Straight. I can't say that I'd be where I was today had I not got that phone call from Robert. I mean, I took that time and redeveloped my business and grew my business into something new while continuing to work right with Robert and Clint and Rachel and just, man, all of them. I mean, just so many people. I mean, I could sit here for 20 minutes just talking about the people there that have influenced me and impacted me and that I still talk to on a regular basis. I mean, it's just something else. And some of those people today are helping me with my business. And like I said, I hold them very, very close and dear to my heart. I've talked about working it straight before on different posts and things like that because it was definitely an impactful moment in my life. And I know it was God blessing me and taking care of me. I know it was God lifting me up, and it was God setting me up for greater things. Me having a dive in my business. If my business had continued going the way it was going, I probably would have never needed that job from Straight. And if I never needed that job, I probably would have continued coasting and been like content having my job, my business good enough. I had had so many bad experiences. It's like I can look now and see God's hands in my life, and I can see how there was just so many times that I had worked with different people and I just had gotten such a kind of a bad taste, you know, towards new business ventures and stuff. And what I was doing at the time, I was just reselling and flipping, and I was doing pretty good at that. And until I just had 2 back-to-back bad months that I just couldn't quite seem to recover from. It's like if I hadn't had those bad months, I would have just kept coasting. I'd have just kept coasting and kept flipping and reselling, and I wouldn't have been able to offer my wife and Kimberly and Corey and Colton, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to offer them what I'm offering them today. I have such a more positive outlook about what I do right now. I love every minute of my life, every minute of my business, every minute that I'm growing what I'm doing. Even like I was talking to a buddy earlier this afternoon. Just a few hours ago I was talking to this buddy, and I was like, you know, it's a guy that I invest with. And see, I invest with him, and he was like, well, you know, he was wanting to do some more things this week. And I told him, you know, about, you know, how last week, man, was stellar. It was an absolutely incredible week, one of the best weeks of my business ever. And he was like, well, this is a perfect opportunity. Let's capitalize on that. And I was like, well, unfortunately, it was just incredible on paper. But liquid-wise, I'm still waiting for a lot of that stuff to fluctuate in. You know, it's just this weird dynamic of what I do. Sometimes I wait for stuff to hit my account for a while. And he was like, man, you know, some of the trading is hot. Last week was a hot week. This week is a hot week. And he's like, you know, I don't want to get into all of it. But it's like, ultimately, it's like, because of the way the some of my customers and clients and just the way the lag in getting the cash back sometimes it just, you get your money tied up in too many different places, and you can look at that as a good problem to have or a bad problem to have. It's like, well, you can look at it as, you know, hurting you, as you can look at it as, hey, I'm not making money, I'm not doing what I could be doing, I'm losing possible potential, but you ain't lost what you never had. Like, you ain't lost what you never had. It is potential that's right there, and it's for the taking. But you know what? I mean, I'm going to look at it right now as And there's a reason that I invested differently. There's a reason that things went this way instead of that way. There's a reason that it's all panning out the way it is, and it's gonna be okay. It's all gonna line up, and when the timing right, liquid's gonna be there, and when that liquid's there, then we're gonna get things growing and popping in a new direction, and that's fine. Uh, been talking to another buddy in San Antonio about a business venture that we've been trying to get off the ground, and it's something that I've had in the works since Corey was a baby, and it's just something that right now we're like, this is the time. This is what we need to do. It needs to happen, and we've just been misconnecting. Like, things keep happening in his schedule and in my schedule, and we're just like, okay, we got everything lined up. We know what we want to do. We know how we're gonna do it. Let's get it going. Let's get it popping. We're finally inspired enough and got the right details all lined up, and it's just like, come on, it's just not popping. It's just not. We haven't connected quite the way that we need to. But you know what? I know it's going to happen in God's time. I know that this is not a setback. This is only, again, a setup for something greater. There's a reason that this didn't happen 4 years ago, 5 years ago, because it wasn't the right time. It is the right time now. Or at least I feel like it is. But we're going to see. We're going to see. So, like I said, my whole idea and what I'm taking from all this is, like I said, God doesn't waste a moment. I don't want you to waste a moment. Whatever you feel is going on in your life, if you're sitting at home and you feel like, kind of things got stacked against you, it's going to be okay. Like I said, take this opportunity. This is time. Time is something you could always make more money. Money is something you can always get, even if you're in one of the worst case scenarios and you're worried about losing your car or your apartment or your house or whatever. It's like all these are things that can all be gotten again. Time can't be gotten again. Capitalize on your time. Take advantage of your time. Let's make the most out of your time. This has all been preordained and predestined for a reason. God has a plan. Let him move in your life, and just don't sit back and wait for it to happen. Let's get it popping. Let's get it moving. Alright, I feel like I've been talking a lot. I feel like this has been just something there's just kind of there's so much more that I want to say. There's so much more that I want to kind of convey just to get my point across, that it's like even when things seem bad, they're not always that bad. It's sometimes it's just things moving in a better direction. You don't realize in the moment that that's not where you should be. That's not what should be happening, but sometimes it just is. Sometimes that's it. You got comfortable. Like I said, if I hadn't gotten behind those 2 months and just really struggled those 2 months, man, I'd have been real comfortable, real cozy, just kept coasting and doing what I was doing. But man, what I'm doing right now is so much better. I love helping, I love teaching, I love reaching out to people, I love investing, I love growing into new business ventures. This is something I've had a passion for since the very beginning. When I first launched my first business, I was like, this is just the beginning. I'm just going to launch this so that way I can go to something else, and so I can go to something else, and so I can go to something else. And as I was doing that, I was moving too fast, and I was moving with people I thought I could trust, and ultimately, sometimes they fell through, sometimes the funding fell through, sometimes, man, I could tell you every single reason why it all went wrong right now. But in the time, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. But it's okay. Like I said, it's made me smarter. It's made me wiser. It's made me better. It's made me a better businessman, a better investor, a better people person, and ultimately a better mentor and a coach for each and every one of y'all who thinks that I'm the guy for you. So, y'all go ahead and give your boy a like. Hit that subscribe button and ding your bell so you get your notifications. Y'all stay tuned. I'm going to keep it coming. I'm going to keep every day, keep posting new content. Y'all be sure y'all check me out on beingcoreybayless.com. Check me out on IG. I'm going to keep new content every single day coming right at you, so that way we can stay connected, we can stay motivated and lift each other up and rise up, and we're gonna show the world what we're made of. This pandemic, this COVID-19, this coronavirus, it ain't gonna beat us. This is gonna be what we're gonna look at years down the road and be like, you know what? Remember that moment where everybody thought, it's like, oh, the world was coming. Nah, that was the moment where I stepped up. That was the moment where I took new control over my life and, just went in a new direction. And that's the moment where my business blew up. My life grew up. All right, well, I got nothing but love and respect for all of y'all. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay with me. Let's keep it popping and y'all get cocky. Y'all have a most excellent night. I'm going to go pound these keys for the next few hours and let's get it going. All right, later.